Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name is Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. And this is Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. It's basically it's made a weird noise. Maybe I'm hungry. Or need a toilet. Yeah. Or maybe I need to go to bed. Oh, blimey. I have a tendency of yawning, but it's good. I only ever yawn right at the beginning of the really good recordings. So that's my brain kind of waking up. The rest of me is awake, but my brain sort of goes to sleep sometimes. And it's just coming to life and like, oh, I can feel the I can't feel anything. So this is for chronic pain. This is to help reduce, relieve, change your experience of chronic pain. Now, this is not a replacement for professional medical attention. And please find out the cause of any kind of physical pain before you ever, my advice is before you ever listen to any recordings or watch any videos that help you to reduce that physical discomfort. So get permission from your doctor before you listen to this or watch this. That being said, this is just me chatting. It's a bit like my Let Me Bore You to Sleep, but it's a bit more focused. And it's focused on chronic pain. I was inspired today to do this by reading a comment. I'm going to read it to you. This is from Darby. So it was posted on my YouTube channel on the power of relaxation. Let me bore your pain away. Oh, okay. So it was on a Let Me Bore Your Pain Away. The last one I did, which was a few days ago. So Darby's written, I fell asleep and didn't even know it. I lost my right leg in August 2023 above the knee, then the same in November 2024 to my left leg. Both were due to PAD. I'm in so much pain again and dealing with a wound that's being stubborn. I still receive benefits from your sharing on here. Thank you so much. Blessings your way. Thank you for that message, that comment, Darby. I know that you've been following my stuff for quite a while, actually. I think I would say years. I just remember the name. Remember your name. So this recording is inspired by Darby. I'm going to focus on, I'm going to call it phantom limb pain. I don't like that term personally, but it is generally even the professionals use that term, or phantom pain, because it's not just limbs. Done a little bit of research. It can even be another body part. So someone has an ear removed or a tongue or something like that. They get that same, can be the same kind of situation where they feel it and they feel pain in it. So I've already done a phantom limb pain recording in the past. I don't know where it is. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I have. I'll have to plug this in. It's going to make a noise. Oh. I wasn't prepared. It should come on in a second. So I've also got experience. I did a hypnosis session with somebody, and this person was in a motorbike accident. So this was in 2006. So it's, 19 years ago. And it was my first experience being around or meeting someone that I knew had phantom limb pain, because we discussed it. I'm sure there are people I meet that don't tell me about it, but so he'd been in a motorbike accident and he'd put up with the physical discomfort. He didn't have his leg amputated straight away. They were hoping that they could. By the way, in the background, Vinny is chewing on his bone. That's going to be happening throughout these recordings. I try not to have it happen when I do like deep sleep whisper stuff. But recordings like this, Vinny is my co-presenter, and he presents by making weird sounds in the background. So if you want to know what he looks like, some of my other videos, he's actually sitting in the back. In fact, he might do that at some point, go and jump onto the settee. That battered settee at the back, it's falling apart. It's embarrassing. I only just noticed it. No, I knew it was there. Obviously, I sit on it. It's like I didn't walk in here one day like, was there a sofa? I'm like, no. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a throw to chuck it over. I'm trying to explain to you what a throw is. I mean, it's in the title, isn't it, I guess? But maybe like pink and blue, which I used to do in an old crappy chair I had years ago. I put a cover on it, like a couple of throws, and it didn't make a lot of difference, if I'm honest, because it was just me in a chair, and because of my size, I took up most of the chair, so you could see the top a little bit, and that was about it. But with that, it's in the background. It's hard to hide it. It's a bit like my animal magnetism. It's very hard to hide. So I'm going to get something thrown over there. So let's have a look. Okay, the way these recordings work, I shouldn't really have to explain myself, should I? Because it shows that if I have to explain it, then it's not possibly working. I don't know. It's very different. What I do is different to what other people do. Doesn't mean it's better or worse. Probably worse. But it's different. So I might talk about some hypnotic techniques, which I do plan to. I've got 10 I want to talk about. But this isn't really hypnosis. This is just me talking. This is me boring your physical discomfort. It's me boring the chronic pain. So what I generally ask, and I don't know if anyone actually ever does it, but is to just notice what level of discomfort you're at the moment. 0 to 10, 10 being the worst, 0 being, puppies and flowers. Yeah, like, it doesn't matter. Where would you say it is now? Like 0 to 10. Just generally. It's not, you're not going to get tested. There's no rewards at the end of it. You don't get given a trophy. It's not, nothing like that. It's not bingo. Did I ever tell, when I think about trophies, and this reminds me of something, I just got to tell you, it's not really relevant, but it's one of those things that makes me laugh when I think about it. When I was doing Taekwondo, yes, I used to do exercise. When I did Taekwondo, this is probably about 12, 13 years ago. There was a competition. See, I did gradings. I think I did about 4 gradings when I was doing that. But I never did any competition. I was like in my 40s then, early 40s. I wasn't interested in doing competitions or anything like that. So we go back on a Tuesday after the weekend where there's a big Taekwondo tournament, and quite a few of the younger people in the club went and won trophies and medals and stuff like that. So I think one of the black belts came first in one of the tournaments. One of the fighting things, but they also did form or kata, which is where you just it's like a movement where you'd show the different moves and you get marked on that. So one of the younger lads, everyone was younger than me back then, I think, not like now, and he came in, he was so proud, he was like holding a trophy, holding it, first place, walking around holding it. He was training and still holding it in his hand while he was training. Very weird. And, they stopped the class and sort of like, well done, everyone. Tim, can you put the trophy down, please? And they were clapping, everyone, well done, you got first class. It turned out that Tim, the reason he won the trophy is because he was the only entry. He was the only one that turned up to do it. So in his category, why did they go ahead with it, with that particular category of the tournament, if there was only one person? He was so proud. I came first. Anyway, it's not really relevant to the event that's occurring now. Let's have a look. I'm just going to put Phantom, see whether it's come under that. Well, it might just come under Limb. So I'm just searching my database. My database of thousands of recordings, literally thousands. It's ridiculous the amount I've done. Thousands and thousands and thousands. Nothing there. So I'm going to put in LIMB. So maybe there isn't. Maybe there isn't any. It might be on the other. Yeah, it might be on the other one. That's strange. Let me have a look, see if it's in the pain relief podcast. Pain. So it's just a case of whatever level you're at, 1 to 10 or 0 to 10. Bearing in mind I'm boring you, I'm boring that part. That's the point of this. Just to get to the point where that part is like, oh. So I've got 189 episodes or recordings in the Chronic Pain Hypnosis podcast. So let's have a look. If I check in LIMB. No. Perhaps I haven't got one. Oh, doesn't look like I do ever. I did do one, so I don't know where it is. How strange. I might have just called it something different. Oh well, never mind. So, actually, I'm a little bit annoyed about that. It's somewhere. Let's see if I've got one on YouTube. Nope, nothing on there. LIMB. No, nothing on YouTube either. And I've got just over 2,000 videos on YouTube. Okay, it's fine. Don't matter. I'm going to cry in a minute. So this bloke comes along basically I was offering a free pain relief service. It's free chronic pain relief service in my local town. And I started off going to people's houses. Sometimes they'd pick me up and take me. I'd meet them at Blockbusters and they'd take me to where they lived, and I'd do like pain relief with them and stuff. And I was seeing people for things like arthritis, back pain, scoliosis, cancer pain. Saw someone with what's it called? It's fingers. I've forgotten the name. This is terrible. I used to know the name, but for different parts of the body, I saw multiple different people over a period of time. And eventually, I rented out a room in the therapy room on a Saturday morning, and people would come. They'd pay me £10 an hour to cover the cost of the room, which was costing me £10 an hour. So yeah, I did that on a Saturday, and I was working the rest of the time, like in a job that I had. So this was a Saturday morning. He came in, this man, and he had one leg. So he explained to me that he'd been in a really bad motorbike accident, and he'd kept the leg. The doctors, the surgeons saved his leg, but he was in just tremendous pain for probably 2 years, maybe longer, maybe 6 years. It was a long time. I think it might have even been 6 years. It was just ridiculous. He couldn't, and I think once they save the leg, it's not easy to get it removed. I think in this country, it's not something that they don't do. Not to say they don't do lightly, but it's quite difficult, because providing it's okay, it's not okay if it's causing tremendous pain. But eventually, he got it. After lots of different surgeries, they removed it. He didn't want it removed to start, he was not happy, but he wanted it saved. And eventually he chose to have it removed. There was no other kind of choice, really. And then 2 years later, 3 years later, I think, he'd come to me, and he still was in pain. So this is someone who'd been through nearly 8-9 years of pain. And he said it felt the same now as it did after the accident, as it was before he had it removed. Almost like it did when he'd had the accident. It's like he was just... And I thought... I'd studied chronic pain for a number of years, just as a hobby, really, just because I was interested in it. And I was interested in not just how to change the way that you feel physically, just almost slightly making adjustments so that something that was uncomfortable now feels more comfortable. It was also, I thought, well, I need to know a little bit about the physical side of it, the actual science, as it were, of the components that cause those signals, feelings, those, somatic, or whatever you want to call it, signals to be experienced. And there's quite a few different theories. Like there's a gateway theory, and there's I mean, I had a lot of books. I'm not saying I read all of them, but I dipped in and out of some of them because they were big old textbooks. And I'm not even going to say, I'll be honest, I didn't even understand everything I was reading. There's one book I really struggled with, and I had a friend that he was a doctor. He had a doctorate in education, and he was he was a lecturer, but he was about coming to retirement, and he was in a Buddhist center. He was one of the order members. Oh, making some weird oink oink noises, and I said to him, look, because he was very educated, and he was used to marking people's work and stuff like that. He worked in a university, high position. Lovely, lovely man. And quite short. Reminded me a little bit like one of the Doctor Who's from the 80s. But that's not really relevant, I guess. That's going to be my catchphrase. Well, that's not really relevant. None of it's relevant, possibly. And he said to me, I said, look, can you come round and have a look at my book? And he said, what do you mean? Well, I'm trying to, I've got all these books on chronic pain, and they knew what I was doing. I got to let everyone know what I was up to because that was my interest. And he said, well, because I was living in a Buddhist community at the time, and I had a huge book collection. I mean, I know I've got a nice little book collection now, but I used to have like three, 4 times that, I would say, in the past. And he said, all right, well, I'll be coming around anyway. So I came upstairs, had a look at the books, and he said, well, look all right. They're quite complicated. They are textbooks. Some of them are for surgeons and doctors, and you're not a doctor or a surgeon, are you? I said, I might be. He said, you're not, are you? I said, no. So why did you say you might be then? I said, I don't know. It seemed funny at the time. And he said, do you see me laughing? Do you see them laughing? Do you see anyone laughing? To be honest, I think it spoiled the birthday party. But yeah, and I said to him, look, can you have a look? So I said, but I understand a lot of the books, what's been said, but this particular book I'm really struggling with. It's like I can't, none of it's going in. She said, which one is it? I said, oh. And I showed it. He said, I see what the problem is. I said, what's that? He said, it's in French. Oh, okay. Oh, it's a good joke. I don't care what you say. I think it's a good joke. It's in French. I didn't see that coming. So yeah, it was funny, I think. So I thought I'd try and study about the subject as well as how to change things. Because when I first started going into hypnosis, 1998 January, so it's a few years now. In 3 years' time, it'll be 30 years that I've been studying hypnosis and therapeutic techniques. The first thing I realised when I studied hypnosis and NLP and stuff like that, the first 2 things I realised is this could help with relaxation. Obviously, I mean, that's what it's probably mostly used for, in a way, like relaxation techniques and stuff is for millennium. These kind of techniques have been used. But the thing that got me most was the chronic pain, the ability to reduce and change to change your perception of it, intrigued me. How that seemed inevitable. because when, just over time, because I noticed that, you know what, you get someone to say, I always feel this way, I always feel like that. But if you spend enough time with them, you know they don't. Because you see that they're focusing on something else. Yet in their mind, that's the fact. In their mind, like, no, I always this, always that, always this. When actually, as humans, we're constantly changing. You know, I'm not focused, or now I'm focusing on my buttocks, my left buttock particularly. You might think, well, why are you focusing on your left buttock? But I am. It's just that's the part of my body that came into mind, and I think it's because, I think it's a bit loud, isn't it? I think it's because when I do these recordings, my arthritis in my lower back starts to almost dissolve. And when that happens, it is a sensation of opening up. Almost like opening a window and letting the breeze through. A bit of coolness. My stomach definitely needs to be fed. It's gurgling a little bit. But there's a bit of coolness there, almost like the area opens a little bit, and maybe the tension's released, the stress is let out, maybe. So that's something that's sort of happening at the moment. And because it's just above my left buttock, I mean, my whole body's above my left buttock, I suppose, if you're going to go, the whole sky is above my left buttock, but specifically my lower back, I can feel it, not just the lower back, but I can feel the area that is sometimes very problematic. And it does feel different from the right side. But if anything, it feels looser than the right side. I mean, the right side of my back, my lower back, it's not tense, but it's not as relaxed as my left side. And I've done nothing to do that, it's just done it on its own. It's almost like, when I start talking, the part of your body that was causing discomfort is listening. Is actually listening more intently, more focused on what I'm saying than you are with your ears. I'm not saying that's all you are. You're not making fun of your ears. I'm just saying you're listening. But that part it's almost like it's absorbing the energy of, like, deciphering. Because I think not everyone can decipher what I'm talking about, including me. Some of it makes sense, some of it sometimes doesn't. And that's with all conversations I have. I wonder. But it's almost like that part of your body is listening, and that part of my body was listening, knowing that when I start talking, it really does bore that part. It gets bored. The part and the physical discomfort starts to reduce. And there's no reason for it. There's no logical reason for it. But there doesn't need to be logic. Logic, I mean, how logical are human beings anyway, to be fair? I mean, there's going to be a reason, but there's going to be lots of different reasons that would be personal for you. I mean, some people, it could just be... I mean, there's going to be some people listening to this that haven't seen anybody for a day or so, or maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks, that have not had much in the way of human communication. And listening to me maybe feels a bit like that. Yeah, I'm like an annoying friend that just talks at you. But at the same time, I'm nothing like any kind of therapist that you're going to hear or see. You're not going to see a therapist like me on YouTube for a good reason. Or you're not going to hear one like me on a podcast. Even though I might know a few things. Ooh, I know a few things. And I'm actually a qualified counsellor, would you believe it? But I don't practice anymore. I've got a degree in counselling and person-centered counselling. And also 18, 19 years experience and practice of making recordings. So yeah, I suppose I've got a little bit of experience, but I don't really know where I was going with that. But yeah, I'm not someone to really. It's looser. It's more relaxed. I'm not trying to get you to do anything. You can't fail. There's no way. You're not being set up to fail because there's no way you can fail because it's not a test. It's not. I'm not asking you to do anything. Just, I'm not going to ask you to listen to what I say because either you're going to listen or you're not going to listen. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll either do that or you won't. The fact is, if you're hearing these words, then you are listening to the podcast or you are watching the video. And if you're watching the video, you might be surprised at just how slim I am. I don't know, I keep talking about my body. I'm slim from the chest down. No, I look slim from the chest down because you can't see me from the chest down because the camera raw. So, I suppose this is like an explanation of what these Let Me Bore You to Sleep, Bore Your Pain Away, is. Even though I've made 13 of them, so this is the 14th one. There has to come a time when I stop explaining, I suppose, what it is I'm doing. Because I don't necessarily know what I'm doing. I just hope for the best. And the bottom line, it's either useful or it's not useful. Helps or otherwise, whatever. I hope it does. It's not that I don't care, because I do. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't be spending my time doing something like this when there's television and chocolate to eat. Okay, television to watch and chocolate to eat. It's a big TV. It wouldn't fit in my tummy. Weird visual. I had a chocolate. I stopped eating chocolate and sugar and everything in the summer to lose some weight. But I bought an Easter egg a couple of days ago. Oh man, I tell you, it's the most enjoyable Easter egg I've had, and I've made it last 4 days. I think I got it on Friday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday now. Oh, it was amazing. Like, amazing. Not even slightly amazing. It was absolutely tremendous. Felt so good. I could feel my whole body just. It's like there's the signals from my brain telling my body to relax and just feel calm and feel good for no good reason. It's just almost. It's like it wasn't just the taste buds. It felt like it was an overall physical sensation as well as I guess a brain thing. It felt nice. I do like relaxing. one of the things, and doing these recordings I find quite relaxing actually, because even though I'm not focusing on, I'm not mentioning your shoulders getting heavy or your eyelids relaxing or your jaw feeling calmer or your stomach and chest looser or your back kind of, the muscles in your back starting to kind of spread out and relax. So I'm not mentioning any of that stuff, but it tends to do it anyway. In my experience, there tends to be a certain level of kind of letting go, and I like that. I mean, maybe it's all these years of doing it that I don't think I'm dissociating myself from what I'm doing, but there's a certain energy. There's an expectation, because that's the thing. The more you listen to me or watch me, and the more benefit you get, the more you expect to feel more relaxed.